So I guess if you have, you know, what you
That's
think are your
upside down.
top picks.
Yeah, I was
then-
gonna say. There we go.
Oh,
The different colored bird?
Well, for me, I like the dog for number one.
That's my first. I have my second and third too.
I'd be good with that.
For first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what were your second and third?
My second is flamingo, and my third is actually between the two horse ones, right?
So these are sort of in your,
I would say the flamingo's in my top three. Now, even though this shot has some technical issues with, you know, a little bit of focus and motion blur, I think the moment is pretty significant. So I think that ought to be considered at least. And it's one of those shots where it's not technically perfect, but I think what they captured is significant enough that it gives it a little bit more oomph, even though there's that, you know, gosh, I wish it would have been.
yeah.
It's so close, it's like almost there.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, the composition really stood out for me.
Yeah, and the capture.
And seeing it closer now and seeing this out of focus, it does bother, this doesn't, but this one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of with you.
It's sort of like sharp there, right in front, so it's a
Yeah.
little bit front focus. But yeah, totally right, since this one's flying. But it's just so, I've never
Yeah.
seen that, so it's.
And just that composition of the
Yeah,
whole thing
yeah,
is
so,
really nice.
so that gives it an extra
I
something.
think the motion blur kind of adds to it.
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
give
for
that
you
does.
for the one that's flying, yeah. And I think if the one on the flower would have been sharper, it would have been totally right there.
I wish it was a little bit more brighter. I think it's a little dark.
Yeah,
For me.
you know, to me a little bit, it gives it that fantasy feel a little bit, like it's, you know, but I totally see what you mean, like the shadows are really blocked up, so yeah, I can see that.
But you know, that's sort of the technical side, that sort of helps it. I mean,
Yeah.
If it was a
Because
little
it
brighter, we
hides-
would really notice.
Right.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
I love the color in this.
Yeah, and it's nice and sharp. And it's sort of, you know,
But it's,
but, you know, like as far as that, like this is interesting because of how it's composed. So I mean, compared to those two,
I like this better.
yeah, I would like that one better. The thing about this horse picture, one, talk about too dark.
Right.
And we can't see the horse's head.
Yeah.
And then this, there's this merge here with that takes it away, so.
And this is cut off. And that's
Yeah,
not-
so the balance is off for me, and with this horse going out, it's like if that horse would have been in. So while I think it's a nice moment, I like the foggy day, particularly that, because that's our center of interest,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like,
Well, it's our center of focus,
Right.
not necessarily center of interest.
Yeah.
And I was like looking at that and going, is the horse facing this way or this way?
Right, yeah, and-
I couldn't tell.
I think for me, what I immediately noticed was just like this nice foggy day, these.
Yeah.
yeah.
The situation was really nice. And then the threes
Mhm.
always works.
Yeah.
But that center horse, it just,
Right,
Was
just
more
a little
distinct.
bit, yeah,
Like that.
even if
just
it
a
would have
little
been.
more distinct.
So,
And these two, this is awesome. The reflection.
yeah, but then look at how it's blown out, yeah.
Yeah,
it's too
that's
bad.
also what I saw was how blown out that was, that if they could have toned that just a little bit. And then
Yeah.
the same with the vulture, whatever that is, that
That's
is
a
too dark.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it would have been nice if his beak would have been, like, they would have been a little bit lower, you know, again,
that particular-
I know.
That's scary.
hard moments to capture.
I know,
Yeah.
they are, and it,
You
know.
gotta direct your subject.
And it's always the case that when you're talking about a contest, it's that, it isn't that they didn't do a good job with that photo.
Sure.
But when we're comparing it to the others, you know, those are the things that kinda,
Yeah. And you have to think with the vulture, if he's doing that, he's probably flapping his wings
to cool off, maybe?
that
Or
he
he's-
could have gotten another shot an instant later where his head was not merged with the wing.
Oh, that just, it gives me the creeps.
Yeah. And I think even if they would have been over to the right a little bit more,
Yeah.
it would have stopped that merge.
Yeah.
And would have had more of a, give you the creeps, because that's kind of the cool thing about it, is that it gives you the creeps. And
Yep.
so it would have, if
Yeah.
it would have been looking at you a little bit
Can you
more.
turn the picture to the camera and then we can, yeah. So, and again, that's one where a little bit, brightening up the dark area, seeing more of the feathers would help.
I like these,
I like,
but I like these a little more. And I wish that one was, like these, had the
Yeah, have that
focus.
sharpness.
I'm looking at, it's a little contrasty, I feel like.
Well, the whole thing is, because those
Yeah.
horses really pop.
So I think
With
this
that
one is
background.
just a little bit more pleasing.
To me, the
This
thing
one
about.
just reminds me of some still life photographers
Yeah.
that have created those things, and it's just like, and I just keep looking at it, and I can't get the name of the person I'm thinking of, but it's like, it's such a distinctive kind of image.
The one thing that bothers me is the way this plateau merges, it's like,
Mhm.
again, I wish it was either like leading to the beak in the eye, or if it would have been outlined, so that,
Well, it's light enough for me that there is that separation, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
That
just-
it's kind of like,
yeah,
a little
that-
lower, a little higher,
Yeah.
just to,
Yeah, I think what I like about this one is it's kind of, it's like the perfect moment, it's just leaving, just not quite there, and the position is so unique and interesting, nice and clean, room to move into it, so there's sort of, there's a grace and a narrative there, like you're saying with Fantasia,
Mhm.
almost.
but the thing that bothers me is the lack of a horizon line, though.
Well, I can see this, right through there, and
But
then.
it's being, it's so, yeah, it is there, but
Yeah.
it's, the focus is such that
I think this is so strong,
you can overlook it.
Yeah, that didn't even strike me as, there's no horizon line on that one. Whereas like with this one, where there's such a definite horizon line, you've really got to integrate it. But with this one, because we've got that shallow depth of field like that. So this is an okay shot, but it's like, so for a contest winner, like what extra, like how many times have we seen that shot?
That's what bothered me,
You
was
know,
that,
And
the
I think
quality.
that's the thing about this, is that it captured that moment.
Yeah.
So,
I like the flamingo is,
Yeah, you guys.
so first and second, and then do you guys want that one for third, or should we do the butterflies?
The butterflies.
I would be happy with that as third, because even though it's got the technical,
But look at the detail in this bird and the detail of the feathers, it's just.
yeah, I think
and the
this,
lighting on it.
again,
is
this kind of
really-
captures a moment in a way,
So that the moment is awesome here,
yeah.
the detail is awesome here.
Right.
So what,
I always go with the moment, I guess.
the moment, yeah, because it's more, yeah, the
Yeah,
feeling that
'cause-
you get and then.
Well,
because-
one of the things about that is also a moment.
It is.
It's where the location and all that.
And it was one that stood out to me right when you first saw it.
I mean, that's just gorgeous.
But
then
it-
that
but-
is,
And so it's an interesting thing, so does the technical overweigh?
sometimes and sometimes not, so
Yeah,
that's,
and I'm not sure, for me personally, right now, even though I love that photo, the technical part, so this has a negative technical part, that's at a positive. This has a moment too, but it's not like,
not nearly as
not,
strong as
not
that,
like this
yeah.
shot. And I just, having, shot a lot of these types of shots myself, boy, I would have been so bummed about the sharpness here, but this moment and the way the wings are and everything. But,
I felt the most strongly about the flamingo.
I think
And
this
of
is,
course that.
this is a great storytelling shot. I love the shot, the light,
Yeah.
I'm running away from home, or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, that's just, hands down, that was the most.
Yeah.
I mean, we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Called
And-
prairie dog.
And so, you know, and this was, again, that moment, the position, the cleanness of it, the mounting bothers me a bit.
Yeah, presentation failed on a few, but,
Yeah.
you know,
and-
I can live with that one.
Yeah.
I'm not as happy, but
Yeah.
I can live with that
So how
one.
do you feel about it?
But when it comes to these two,
Yeah.
it's like,
I
yeah,
could go either
they
way.
are easily balanced, but I am leaning with the two of them side by side. I am leaning toward
Okay,
that one.
I'd be
because-
fine with that.
Because
I'd be fine.
if we have this one,
Yeah.
you know, as our
I know.
third place, and people look at it, they're not gonna look at it the way that we are.
Absolutely.
They're gonna look at it from the
No,
top. And I
you
think
know,
they are pretty equal.
And I think they're, like you're saying, I do agree that there's definitely this moment here, and it's kind of this subtle, like a majestic shot of a crow, right, essentially, and how often does that happen?
And I think this one is also kind of distinctly different than our other
Yeah.
nature pictures,
Yeah.
because it doesn't look real.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes you're in that
Yeah,
situation.
it could be from like a museum, and
It
it's
does.
taxidermy.
Yeah, I mean.
You know, I wonder if it
def-
is, now that you
Could
said
be.
that.
Is that just like a really
Like a
nice
map
mural in the
painting,
background,
yeah,
and that's
exactly.
just,
And
could be.
what is the title?
Well, you know,
What is the title
Is
of
it
that?
called taxidermy?
what are you looking at? Animals.
Grand Canyon,
Arizona,
okay.
so she's.
So,
she's in-
and that's always kind of a cool thing, where it looks so real, it looks fake.
Yeah,
You know?
it just goes to show you how we're used to museums.
Yeah, and effectively done, so. Yeah, and then these would be all honorable mentions, obviously. Would they, can we, or no?
I don't know if we wanna,
Well, okay, then I would definitely say that this is an honorable
Yeah.
mention,
and this-
and then I'll let you guys choose what you think, but I think since we were thinking about that.
Oh, yeah,
that we
absolutely.
definitely wanna
Do we,
honorable
do we want to wait on honorable mentions for the end, or you want us to choose now?
no, I think let's choose now.
How,
We can
how
move
many
on.
total categories are there?
9.
9 categories, so like 4, some of the categories are bigger,
I wouldn't mind
obviously.
Yeah.
Was this category
Just
a medium-sized one?
It was the third biggest.
Yeah.
The third biggest, so we could at least do 2 or 3
Oh, yeah,
and feel
absolutely.
comfortable.
Actually, if you wanted to
Yeah.
give everybody
These two, I
else
don't
an
know how many
honorable
we
mention,
need.
you could.
So what? How many?
You want, I
is the
mean,
number?
how many are we talking?
Well, this is the third biggest category, there are 9 categories altogether. You wanted to give like 40 honorable mentions?
Right.
So we could,
4 or
We could do
5?
I-
6 here.
I
We
think
could do
we'll-
6?
yeah.
Is this
So
good?
I feel, and I think there was a
Not
good
yet.
feeling
Okay.
about this one
And then.
and that
for
one.
people- I just like the.
I mean, we could always come back and revisit this too, because we're still
Yeah.
early on.
But
Yeah.
for me, this is a definite honorable mention.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I feel I'd be fine with whatever portion of those you guys think. I mean, clearly they're all in the top group, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so
Okay.
first, second, third, and,
Okay, second place is dance.
Okay.
Animals. And third place is, what are you looking at?
Is it what are you, there's another one, there's another one, what you, what, by
This is
whom?
What Are You Looking At by Lisa
Lisa,
Stewart.
okay. So that's third.
Okay.
that really is funny thinking of, you know, we've all been in the nature museum where it's,
Yeah.
you know, the beautiful mural.
Did you wanna hold up the
and
honorable
the lighting
mentions,
on
or-
it Just has
It
that,
could be indoors.
yeah, it's so interesting.
I worked for a museum
Honorable
company for a
mentions.
while, it was,
The Chase.
Fabricated museum
Okay.
displays, and like, wait a second.
Yeah, yeah. What's the?
Winter Horses.
Taylor Studios.
Yeah,
Okay.
Taylor Studios, that's right. Yeah.
That could have been, 'cause it's how realistic.
Fly on a Rose.
Yeah. Taylor Studios
Better-
is some
Fantastic work.
really good
I
stuff.
see
Quality
you.
artists work for them.
Yeah,
Actually,
Ridiculous.
I do this way.
yeah.
Turkey Vulture King. And Grays in the Haze.
Okay. All right.